Cassper Nyovest is the first and only South African rapper to ever headline a concert at the FNB Stadium, a venue which is literally one of the biggest stages in Africa. And this was during his Fill Up FNB series, whereby the man also made history by becoming the first ever rapper in South Africa to headline a concert in front of 68,000 attendees. Now that's crazy numbers. However, fast forward to a few years later down the line, 2025 to be precise, and the man's music career has reached a screeching downfall.
I realized from the crowd is people were vibing to his old songs.
Of course, bro.
So like Dom Shebeleza, they were going ham. The Sunbed Arena was like everybody was.
Yeah. Cassper got some nice songs in his
and
catalog.
then he ended with Hosh Karamama what. People started leaving, dogs. I kid you not. For real. People started leaving.
With him now even promising TikTokers 10,000 rands if they made a viral TikTok dance to his recent song.
Shabuze, Cassper Nyovest, and I want to give you 10,000 rand. Just that simple. 10,000. Well, I'm joking, it's not that simple, but all you have to do is post yourself doing a dance.
Yeah, the same song that people walked out on, by the way. Well, it's a far cry from the larger-than-life Cassper Nyovest we know him as, whom at one point used to be one of the most talked about names in the South African hip-hop scene.
There's no career better than Nyovest's career for me. Untouchable, very great, perfect example of how you'd want to be as an artist in this country, a rap artist, one of the biggest rap artists that we've ever had, most impactful, also such a pioneer. He changed the game.
He went from making bangers to making background noise, bro, as one fan described his downfall. So today we look at the rise and embarrassing downfall of an icon, Cassper Nyovest. Born and raised in Mahikeng, the capital city of the Northwest Province, which is a prosperous cattle province that's also the trade center of the country's dairy industry. However, it's also a place that some may credit as the birthplace of the hip-hop subgenre motswako, basically a form of rap that blends hip-hop lyrics with local languages such as Setswana with English over hip-hop beats, of course. The subgenre is often associated with the late rapper who popularized it, Double HP. Widely considered a legend in the South African music industry, particularly within the hip-hop and motswako communities. However, while Double HP was considered a legend, behind the scenes he was a broken man who tragically felt like the world didn't understand him, and he lacked confidence while still being the biggest rapper in the country at the time. But if you want a deeper dive, I have a whole video whereby I explain how our hip-hop legends died, so I'm gonna link that in the description. Make sure you check it out after this one. Double HP would, however, find himself meeting a young Cassper Nyovest, whom at the time was quote-unquote not all that, but Double HP believed in him and that he had the confidence to become the next Lil Wayne. Wow, talk about daydreaming. Well, I'm just kidding boys. Cassper Nyovest would later become Double HP's hype man, and he also started appearing on songs and music videos with the motswako legend. But the song that would finally put Cassper Nyovest on the map was, well, I don't really know Setswana, so I'm sure you boys can read the name yourselves. And for Cassper to appear on this life-changing song, all it took for him was being at the right place at the right time. Before I was a rapper, I was a dancer. I never used to like admitting it, but yeah, I was a dancer. I was actually quite popular in my hood because of dance, Cassper said in an interview. My transition happened for me when my boy Jude came back to South Africa from Australia. Every time he was sent to our classroom, girls would scream because he was the guy from Australia who wore saggy pants and had the Australian accent. So I thought if you can't beat them, join them. I started writing poems and love songs to be as cool as Jude. That's how I started rapping. That's one decision by his friend to come back to South Africa might have just led to a butterfly effect that would later on change the future of the South African rap scene as we know it, as Cassper Nyovest would later drop out of high school after failing his grade 10 exams. And for a man who was now a wannabe rapper, he decided to pursue a dream that a year ago he didn't even have. He felt a strong calling to pursue his musical aspirations, describing it as a vivid feeling that he had to answer. I told my parents that I'd rather chase my dream, which I believed is going to work out. And while going to Joburg with nothing but a dream seemed impossible, that Cassper was going to make it big. I was taken by Tasman at the age of 16 years old after dropping out of school. I came to Joburg doing this music thing. Everyone thought I was crazy, but one man would believe in him from the first time he saw him, and that man was Double HP.
What does a guy like Cassper Nyovest learn from being around Double HP?
I remember one lesson I was performing with him in the hood in Mufftown, and I had shades on, and this guy literally grabbed my shades and threw them into the crowd. And I'm standing there like, man, this motherfucker's hating on me because I'm fly as shit, man. I'm taking over, motherfucker. So I'm like pissed off, like, nah, man, do you mind? And then we got off stage, like, don't ever, ever, ever do that in the hood. These are your people. You grew up with these people. You know what I mean?
Damn.
There's your aunts. You come here wearing shades. Who the fuck do you think you are? And I mean, I was crushed a bit, but like it was a lesson, like for me, to learn like a little bit about humility and when to turn on and off, you know, the stardom, you know. I think a great part of my ambition was also unlocked by being next to him. This guy did a record with Nas, man. Like when it was like impossible to do a song with like an American A-lister at that time. So he opened my mind.
If he truly believed in you, he believed in you. Double HP played a significant role in the rise of Cassper Nyovest, as not only did he build the crucial foundation and platform Cassper Nyovest later significantly benefited from, but he was also the one who essentially discovered Cassper and introduced him to the wider hip-hop scene, in the process giving Cassper Nyovest a platform to showcase his talent. Now, although some of Cassper Nyovest's success could be attributed to Double HP, who introduced him to the industry as his hype man and went on to feature him on his songs, however, their relationship would later on get a bit blurry, as Cassper Nyovest has went on to claim that his success might have just affected his relationship with the hip-hop legend. But Cassper Nyovest would later on start his own solo rap career and finally became a star on his own after a couple of years of grinding, and with the eventual release of his hit single Kusheshe, which featured everyone's favorite uncle, OK Malum Cool Cat, Cassper Nyovest was finally on his way to stardom. The song's Kwaito influence, catchiness, and uniqueness set Cassper apart from any other rapper at the time, and with the song accompanied by a viral dance known as the Taxi Driver, which was originally created by Boys and Bugs. Well, it was after that one song that the whole country and some other parts of the continent started to pay close attention to this upcoming rapper. Now, although Cassper Nyovest had one of the fastest rises in the history of South African hip-hop, and that's probably due to the fact that he was a prodigy of the then biggest rapper in the country, Double HP. However, the man will continue to prove himself as his own man when in early 2014, Cassper Nyovest would release another hit single, Dog Shabby Lazy. And after frequently performing the song live in shows, the song became so popular that the alcohol brand Savannah ended up appropriating some of the song's line, especially the hook, in order to fit their campaign. See, Cassper Nyovest was becoming one of the biggest names in the South African hip-hop scene, and not only in the South African hip-hop scene, the entertainment industry too.
Oh my name, this guy Cheba fella, you guys must also dance. You can't just watch me. Let's go.
But the late rapper aka did not agree with a lot of people at the time, as he claimed that his song Congratulate was bigger as it was #1 on iTunes as opposed to Cassper Nyovest's Dog Shabby Lazy, and that's how one of the biggest rap beefs in South Africa started. Stupid, but yeah, it started that way. And like any other rap beef, this one also undeniably boosted the two rappers' careers a great deal. See, the beef helped catapult Cassper into the mainstream as he was beefing with one of the biggest rappers in the country. Now, with him being the underdog, that alone played a huge part to his advantage. See, as much as Cassper Nyovest had hits, however, a lot of fans gravitated towards him for his persona. His story was of a young kid from Mahikeng with big big dreams who started from nothing and was only making something of himself, which is an inspiring story indeed, and one that many young South Africans related to. However, some people have gone on to say that a large number of Cassper's fans were just aka haters, which is partly why his Fill Up the Dome campaign was a success. And when you really start to think about it, there might be some truth into that theory, as ordinary South Africans and brands gathered to make his dream of filling up one of the biggest stages in Africa a success. At the time, it was inspiring to see a young South African think out of the box, which was the clear manifestation of dreaming big. I want to inspire kids and dreamers and show them you can do anything you can imagine through prayer, faith, and hard work, as Cassper made sure that people understood that his dream of filling up the dome was bigger than him. I lost 3 million rands, but the concept was not to make money but to shift culture. The value was not in the money but an investment, Cassper told Forbes Africa. Now, losing 3 million for a one-night show seems a bit crazy, but when looking at the fact that Cassper Nyovest released his sophomore album on the same day as the show, and that every fan who attended got a copy, which made the album automatically become gold on its first day of release, you start to see that although Cassper Nyovest dropped out of high school, the man is far from being a fool. Now, with the most expensive album launches of all time, the album would later go on to sell platinum, and while most rappers have record labels that help them distribute and promote their new albums, Cassper Nyovest took the independent route, releasing his album Clolo Fellow, come on guys, give me a break, through his own record label, Family Tree, a record label that was home to artists like Teho, Naranakai, and Gemini Major. This meant that Cassper Nyovest was profiting from his brand deals and also getting 100% of his music sales, unlike your favorite rapper MT, which I did a video on telling you how he lost everything and got it all back. You can check that video out too, link in the description. Now, for Cassper with a record label that housed some of the most recognized names in the country, Cassper was adding another important skill set in his portfolio, one that many artists overlook, and that is the business side of the music industry, something that would later prove to be his downfall. But with him filling up the dome, Cassper had done something no other artist from South Africa or the African continent had done before. I mean, the man even received a letter from the president of South Africa for his achievement, which is crazy considering that the president might not even listen to rap. At the time, I think our president was Jacob Zuma, and I'm sure that nigga did not listen to rap. That nigga was probably rocking Bomtandini, so that's what I think. Now, beyond record sales, filling up stadiums, and chart-topping hits, while on the other hand, Cassper Nyovest was quickly becoming a savvy businessman who had numerous successful business ventures and standout brand partnerships, both locally and internationally. Going into 2021, fans would see Cassper Nyovest dropping his 4th studio album titled Sweet and Short 2.0, which was met with a lot of backlash from fans, and that's maybe probably due to the fact that on this particular project, hip-hop fans would see him for the first time fully immersing himself into the dominant amapiano music genre. Why does the entire album sound as if Cassper has switched genres? So you couldn't even give us a single hip-hop song on this album. Last time I checked, your genre was hip-hop. What is this now? Hip-hop gang captured you. Now, although this fan might have thought that Cassper Nyovest was captured by how amapiano genre created a feeling of intimacy, relaxation, and also was able to connect with fans on a deeper level. However, it seemed like Cassper Nyovest was only in it for the paycheck. Well, it's no secret that amapiano artists generally receive more bookings within South Africa than other artists from other genres of music. And yes, amapiano artists get more streams than hip-hop. I'm trying to become the first billionaire who comes from music. They say the tongue is a prophet, and that's why I'm now called the Don Biliato, Cassper Nyovest told news articles, as he seemingly abandoned his rap career for a dream of one day making enough money from his other ventures so that maybe one day he can be able to call himself a billionaire. I just dropped this album, and I also have a brand new shoe that just dropped this week. It's called The Roots of Fame, and I'm confident that everyone will love it. Well, I'm not sure about everyone loving it, Cassper. However, you have to hand it out to the man, as he ended up signing a deal with 100 million rand for his Root of Fame brand.
And well guys, it seems Cassper Nyovest is well on track to achieving his dream of becoming the first South African hip-hop billionaire. That is after he just announced a new collaboration with Drip Footwear that is worth 100 million rands.
I'll be a billionaire before 40. God engineering. The rapper told his fans on social media, and for a man who was known for defying odds and pushing boundaries, becoming a billionaire was also quickly starting to become a reality, as Cassper would supposedly launch another successful business, this time going into the liquor business. Well, in late 2021, the rapper launched his very own liquor brand, Billionaire, a beverage he introduced as a taste of wealth and was dedicated to dreamers and future billionaires like himself. However, some came out to state that Cassper did not own Billionaire. Instead, he was an influencer.
I own Billionaire. Bruh. You understand? I actually own it. The nigga that's promoting it doesn't even own it.
So Casper's your influencer? Is that what you're saying? He's on a marketing campaign.
You understand what I'm saying?
He's on a marketing campaign.
So listen, you know, he's my influencer, but you know, he's not doing as good a job as the last one did.
Which one? AKA?
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
doing a really great job.
Well, perhaps not that is not a trustworthy source, but I guess MacG is not too, but let's take a look.
But they reported that Billionaire is not wholly owned by Cassper, and
of course not.
So I'm saying I could have been Cassper. I could have been.
Bonang, yeah.
they try to, but Cassper is insisting that he owns it though.
No, he doesn't, man. I mean,
but he.
The proof is in the pudding.
Although Cassper Nyovest came out to state that it was all a smear campaign, as he clapped back at the claims that he doesn't own the Bose brand.
I am the majority shareholder of Billionaire, and not only am I the owner, but I'm the founder, the CEO, and the marketing director. I own my products. I'm not a brand ambassador or an influencer. The support from people has been amazing. Please do keep on supporting us, and thank you.
But perhaps Cassper might be telling the truth about being the owner of the liquor brand, as throughout the years, Cassper Nyovest has also garnered several endorsement deals with various companies. Notably, the time he got involved with the vodka brand C-Rock. The man also got an endorsement deal with MTN and AG Mobile when launching a smartphone that was inspired and partly designed by Cassper Nyovest. And while Cassper Nyovest was talking about making big money with other brands such as Shoprite, Samsung, Coca-Cola, KFC, Nike, Castle Lights, basically any brand you can think of, Cassper was probably working with it, so it could make sense that after being sponsored for so long, Cassper Nyovest might have also thought about launching his very own product. And while he was trying to make his dream of being a billionaire become a reality, the fans on the other hand were left with his awful 2021 Amapiano album, Sweet and Short 2.0. However, while all his business ventures paid him far more than rap could ever do, tragically, in his road to becoming a billionaire, Cassper Nyovest lost something money could never buy. Well, he lost his rap dream, but most tragically, he lost his godlike status in the rap game.
There's a saying in football. One pundit said this. He said, they were talking about Casemiro. He said, you must leave the football before the football leaves you. Cassper needs to leave the mic before the mic leaves him, dog. I kid you not, bro. Like when I saw his performance, right, it wasn't infused like all the other ones, first of all, because like with all the other ones, the last song, they all got together. So like whoever you were fusing with, they'd all perform kind of like the last song together.
Yeah.
So with Youngster, it was Imitandazo, so everybody came on stage. But when Cassper came on, it's like he gave them a clear instruction that, okay, only I'm performing. Yes, it's a fusion, but this is just my set now. So it became like the Cassper
Cassper show, not a collaboration.
Yeah, right. And the last time I saw him was Global Citizen. And he literally performed the same.
He stole the show.
He stole the show.
He stole the show.
Oh, he was the best thing ever.
Beyonce were quaking in their boots.
Murder.
Yeah, man, he stole the show.
So he had the same set, and what I realized from the crowd is people were vibing to his old songs.
Of course, bro.
So like Dom Shebeleza, they were going ham. The Sunbed Arena was like everybody was.
Yeah. Cassper got some nice songs in his
and
catalog.
then he ended with Hoshkare Mama What. People started leaving, dogs. I kid you not. For real. People started leaving. You can say I'm a hater, innit?
Yeah.
But people started leaving,
They left
so it's not just me. Who thought it was
They left
trash?
the venue before the venue left them.
Now, dropping a trash album in 2021, then disappearing on your fans for years is not a good look, Cassper. Even if one of your reasons included trying to become a literal billionaire. They are right, I am washed by the blood of the Holy Lamb, and I am now a new creature. I deserve no credit at all. I am blessed beyond imagination, and I am truly grateful to be washed. Cassper Nyovest responded to the claims that he was washed, and with the same song that they claimed he was washed with reaching 1 million views in just 7 days on YouTube, one may think that Cassper Nyovest isn't washed at all. However, when you take into consideration that Cassper Nyovest paid people to create a viral dance for the video, and the fact that the song was also clearly made to be used as a TikTok trend, you will start to ask yourself if whether Cassper Nyovest would have reached the same numbers if it was just a normal song. Well, some people have even gone on to accuse him of using bots to boost the song numbers, as one fan would go on to accuse Cassper of benefiting from payola, the practice of bribing radio stations to play music in exchange for money. The song led to people roasting him on social media for claiming that the song was a smash hip-hop hit after it became the most Shazammed song in South Africa. But being Shazammed doesn't mean the song is fire, bro. No one Shazammed your song. It just pops up on the playlist and we skip to the next artist. Wahlanya, that's not hip-hop. It's even painful that you don't know the difference between hip-hop and trash. However, Cassper Nyovest continued to celebrate after the song hit 2 million plays on YouTube Music. Shout out to everyone streaming and supporting the music. I really appreciate it, man. I do this for y'all and y'all have shown nothing but love, Cassper said on social media. However, several social media users hilariously pointed out that he had forgotten to mention Mac G, while others questioned the numbers and accused Cassper of using bots. Others pointed out that he was doing too much to prove that the song was a hit. Who's this bro trying to prove a point to? Aries makes these numbers without pushing his music or making TikTok dance moves, paying challenges 10k. Now I see why metric is important. Since the Mac G thing, you are trying to prove a point. Your latest song is TikTok music, which will be replaced by another TikTok song soon. Do proper music, please. Even one fan went as far as to say that Cass, you are crashing out right now. Chill out, bro. It's not that deep. Now, for a man who went from filling up the biggest stage in Africa to being accused of buying streams, sheesh, now that's embarrassing. But as the saying goes, the bigger you are, the harder you fall. And even Cassper Nyovest understands that, as he would go on to share with his audience. I understand not being the coolest or hottest, that's inevitable, but falling off as far as influence, reach, money, and people not taking your calls cause you are a burden. May I never see that day, oh Lord.